The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. More areas have been placed under general community quarantine until the end of the month. The IATF has approved placing Bulacan, Apayao, and Capiz under GCQ starting tomorrow until October 31. Bulacan and Apayao were initially under MECQ, while Capiz was under GCQ with heightened restrictions. Isabela City in Basilan also shifted to GCQ from a more relaxed modified GCQ due to an increase in COVID-19 cases in the area. Trade Secretary Mon Lopez says the alert level system may be implemented in other areas soon. According to Lopez, the government is now looking at Calabarzon, Cebu, and Davao as the next areas for the implementation of the alert level system. The official said these are areas that are big contributors to the country's GDP. He also said any future granular lockdowns are not expected to have a significant impact on the operations of factories in these production hubs. The trade chief added that in case a commercial establishment becomes a COVID hotspot, work is expected to resume after disinfection and a 1 to 2 day lockdown. President Duterte vows to fully support candidates under the ruling party PDP Laban. He is also urging local bets of the party to safeguard the integrity of the 2022 elections. Gemma Vansenia with the story.
During the oath-taking ceremony of new members of CUSI-led PDP Laban in Iligan City, President Duterte vows to fully support candidates under the ruling party. Duterte said that he cannot attend all the political meetings but committed to campaign for PDP's candidates all over the country.
Maybe you can schedule one rally. Unya manhi ko muna to ang akong tabang ninyo o mga usa ka sakong kwarta para sigurado gyud.
Duterte also called on local candidates of the party to safeguard the integrity of the elections. He assured them that they would get full support as they seek local government posts. The president also said that unlike other parties, PDP Laban was never funded by the oligarchs.
Atong mga dato liberal nato, they were funded by the oligarchs. Tanawa unsay nahitabo. Ang tubig gihatag sa Ayala, ngadto kang gihatag ang muna abusado kayo ang ABS-CBN. Walay bayad-bayad og taxes, mo pa isog, and they continue really to utilize and mga partido hantod karon. Kumpormo nila siya gihapon.
PDP Laban standard bearer Senator Bato de la Rosa and Vice Presidential aspirant Senator Bongo also attended the event. Some members of the party admit that they were surprised that de la Rosa was chosen to run for president. Nevertheless, they will still fully support the senator's candidacy.
I find it very funny and very surprised talaga ako na ni Senator Bato is chosen as the president. We're expecting Sara, no? That's what we're expecting. But I am very happy also. I am very happy. I have strong confidence with Senator Bato. I understand that he is the only candidate for the presidency having the PhD. No, so with that title, I would say that General Bato is very qualified.
De la Rosa reiterates that he will continue his candidacy despite many doubting his capability to become president.
You can belittle me anytime you want. You can look me down anytime you want. You can say whatever you want. But I remain as Bato, willing to serve and willing to die for this country. Yan lang po masasabi ko sa kanila. I can offer my life for this country. Kaya wala po akong inaatrasan dito. Sabihin nyo, hindi ko kaya maging presidente. Tingnan natin.
For News 5, Gem Avancenia, we are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Labor Department reminds employers that they should pay they should pay the salaries of unvaccinated employees even if they're not allowed to work. Dole warned that they will issue an order for companies who will not let their employees work just because they are not yet vaccinated. Secretary Silvestre Bello III said unvaccinated workers should still be allowed to go to work and should not be discriminated against, although Bello still encouraged workers to get vaccinated for their safety. The Trade Union Congress of the Philippines also condemns the no vaccine, no salary scheme. To tell us more, we have with us this morning TUCP spokesperson, Mr. Alan Tanhusay. Sir Alan, good morning.
Good morning, Riza.
Sir, we've heard of the no vaccine, no work scheme, which of course the Labor Department already tagged as unlawful. But what is this no vaccine, no pay scheme now that we are hearing from some employers that have they been reportedly been practicing?
Yes, a few days ago, some employees of these unscrupulous or irresponsible employers went to the TUCP office and asked for our help. They said the salary that is due them was not given to them because they are required to submit a vaccination card. So they were asked that if they do not provide copies of their vaccination cards, they will not receive their salaries.
Sir Alan, you mentioned they went to your office. Can you mention to us these employers, the name of these employers, or perhaps the sectors that practice this scheme? And do we have documentary evidence that, again, this scheme is being or is indeed happening?
Yes, we received the complaints. We took the statements of these employees and we submitted the report to the Department of Labor and Employment, and we asked a labor secretary to conduct labor inspection of the work site, and we are also asking Mr. Bello to issue a guidelines that would serve as a warning to all abusive employers against this illegal practice.
Sir Alan, moving forward, what can aggrieved workers do? Should they be experiencing or should they experience some kind of discrimination like this?
Well, they should have one. They should have at least some form of evidence in one way or the other. Or if they do not have a direct evidence, they can immediately proceed to the Department of Labor and Employment regional offices and report the matter. Or they can go to the TCP office and file their complaint through us, and we will assist them and we will refer their case to the Department of Labor and Employment. Because as you know, Risa, some of these employees does not want to be identified by the employers because they fear of reprisals, they fear of being singled out, or worse, they fear of being terminated by the employers if the employers discover that they reported the matter to the authorities.
Sir Alan, what are the possible repercussions for employers who practice this illegal policy?
Well, there are a lot consequences, legal and financial consequences for the employers who practice this kind of illegal actions towards their employees. Number one, it is a violation of the human right, obviously. Number two, this is a violation, direct violation of labor code provision that says the employer should not withhold the salary of their employees without the consent of the workers. Number three, they are liable for double indemnification if they are found to be liable, if they are found to uh, to be guilty of the practice. They will be required by law to pay the double of the wages of the employees. And of course, number three, and lastly, this is a violation of the Republic Act 11525 of the Vaccination Law of the Philippines, wherein the law says that employees are not required, or workers are not obliged to show vaccination cards before they are given their employment or their given their wages. So these are the consequences for the employers who practice this no vaccine, no salary scheme.
Sir Alan, the pandemic has really brought a lot of challenges on both ends for the employer and for the employees as well. So, what would you suggest, sir? How do you think we can strike a balance between workers' health and workers' rights to refuse the vaccine?
Well, we can only, the government, for that matter, can only encourage workers, but they cannot be forced to take the vaccine if the workers are unwilling, because we respect the decision of every person, what is best and what is good and what is healthy for themselves. So they have the right to decide whether to take the vaccine or not. What we can do, what the UCP can do, or what the government can do, is only to encourage the workers to get vaccinated, but we cannot force them.
Lastly, Sir Alan, is the TUCP supporting a specific candidate for the upcoming 2022 polls? And for who you think among the aspirants carry the best interest for the Filipino workers?
Well, right now, Risa, the TUCP is closely monitoring the candidates. We are closely looking at their platform of government. We are closely looking at their track record, and we are setting a set of criteria of which candidate we are going to choose later on. So right now, we are just monitoring and closely looking at the candidates, and at the same time, sooner or later, sometime soon, we are going to announce who is our presidential candidate and who are our senatorial candidates to support in the national elections on May.
Well, thank you, sir, for sharing with us your time and your insights. That's TUCP spokesperson, Mr. Alan Tanhusay. Now let's take a quick look at today's other top stories. The Octa Research Group says the decline in COVID-19 cases are well within their projections. The group says cases are expected to drop further in the coming months. COMELEC further extends voter registration hours and even included Saturdays to accommodate the voter registrants. And NASA embarks on a 12-year mission to study asteroids with the goal to know more about the origins of the solar system. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 12 noon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.